Commission will now take up the matter of special one-day license to sell and dispense alcohol beverages, applications for all alcoholic beverages, Penny Hammergas for Friday, September 5th, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the Music and Arts Fest, scheduled to be held at the parking lot at 152 Worthen Street. For beer and wine only, or either one, Michael J. Karagianis of the Transfiguration Greek Orthodox Church for Saturday, September 13th, 2008, from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, September 14th, from 12 noon to 7 p.m. The event is the Greek Food Fair to be held on church property at Father John Sarantis Way.
Introduce yourself for the record, please. Technical difficulties.
Penny K. Hamburgers,
There you
Worthen
go.
House Cafe.
Michael J. Karagianis, Transfiguration Church, Greek Orthodox.
Okay. Penny, I know you've been before us. Michael, have you ever been before us? You have. Okay. The short version is, it's important that you remember, this is your license. This is your license. Did we approve this music and arts thing?
September 6th, Saturday night. That's for Friday night.
Oh, okay. Would you just decide to add that to it, or?
Right.
Okay, all right. To midnight, okay. All right, and down below, you have a request for amplified sound,
Yes.
okay? Do you have a request for amplified sound? No. No. You're not gonna have a sound system out there?
No, it's basically indoors. It's in the
Really?
It's in the church property.
You're not gonna put up the tent?
We've downsized all.
You've downsized. Ooh.
Times it's up.
Okay, okay. That being said, the important thing for you to do, for both of you to always to do is, especially with Penny, she has a license across the street, you need to make sure that you always remember it's your license. We do things in the name of God in church and Mother Teresa that, sometimes we might not do if Mother Teresa and God wasn't there. And so unfortunately, we kind of, but we need to remember that the license is our license. And whoever's tending bar for us has a responsibility to be loyal to us as opposed to be loyal to making money for the organization or whatever we represent. That's the key thing. I'm loyal to the guy that I'm representing, and unfortunately, I'm not representing the church. I'm representing another gentleman or another lady who put themselves on the line. Okay? That being said, any questions?
I have no
Any
questions.
commit?
No questions.
You want to give me a motion?
Make a motion to approve the 2 licenses.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications for special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Penny Hammergas of the Worthen House, Inc. for live bands with amplification at the parking lot at 152 Worthen Street for the Music and Arts Fest, Friday, September 5th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. The Immaculate Conception Parish Stephen Green Family Picnic Committee. The annual family picnic to be held on church property at 144 East Merrimack Street, Saturday, September 20th, 2008, from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Disc jockey with sound system. There is a request for rain date, Sunday, September 21st, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Also, the Robert F. Kennedy Children's Action Corps, Mark Speller representative, for Paint for Peace at the JFK Civic Plaza for Saturday, August 30th, 2008, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Musical groups, poetry reading with the sound system.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Penny K. Hamburgers, Worthen House Cafe.
I'm Stephen Green, 181 Market Street, and speaking in behalf of the Immaculate Conception Picnic Committee.
I'm Mark Speller, representing the Robert F. Kennedy Children's Action Corps.
Okay. Permit for amplified sound is a permit for common sense. Okay? If I'm standing at City Hall and can hear the music at the Immaculate, something's wrong. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. If I'm standing at, Mad Dog's downtown having a hot dog and I can hear the Worthen, something's wrong. Okay? So, we don't have a decimal meter and we don't have the sound police. But we do have neighbors that we live with. And as much as they enjoy music and festivities and everything, You know, they probably enjoy it at a sound level that's acceptable to everybody's ears. I don't see any problem with any of these. You have anything?
No, I
you'd
just wanted to say on the record that I am a member of the Immaculate Conception Parish, so I'm going to.
like- Who's gonna stay out of it?
Gonna stay out of it.
Boy,
Okay.
Father
I hope he
Sinella
comes
is
to the
gonna-
picnic.
Hey, Brian Occasion, Father Sinella. Get him up there, talk to him, okay? All right, I'll make the motion to approve the
I'll go ahead and I'll
licenses.
second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
You're all set. Okay?
Good luck.
Good luck, I hope you get a great day for it. Probably be up there seeing Father Sinella, too many hot dogs. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of a hearing that was continued from August the 7th, 2008, on the application for transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license from Jumbo Enterprises, Inc., doing business as the Acre Sports Bar, Dennis Mercier, President, to the Old Place, Inc., Lawrence J. Valcourt, President, for premises at 282, 284 Fletcher Street, one unnumbered door, the west side of building. The first floor is one room for restaurant lounge, and basement for storage. Lawrence Valcourt is being requested to be approved as manager of record for the Old Place, Inc. Minor license applications are common vittler, entertainment for disc jockey jukebox, and automatic amusement device.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Attorney James Flood. I'm here with Mr. Larry Valcourt.
Larry Valcourt.
Okay, 1 second, Mr. Valcourt. Supposed to put- Just so everybody knows, it's a transfer of the stock back, and normally, under normal circumstances, an application usually on the inventory equipment licenses, especially the license, it says no value. And it doesn't on this, but I understand that it reverts back. So I've been reassured by the secretary, who knows all and ends all, that it's okay. That's all it takes. So basically, tell us what you're doing in your own words, so that people will understand.
Well, we're transferring a license from Dennis Mercier. I'm taking it over, and
You originally owned it?
I originally owned the building,
Yeah,
and when I bought the building, Dennis Mercier purchased the bar off myself,
okay,
which at that time, the license was transferred from the original owners from the bar to Dennis Mercier.
right.
And now, they want to get out of it, and I'm taking it back. I'm applying for the application to take it back and run it as
Okay.
is.
Any questions about it? Anything you want to know?
I have no questions.
I don't see it to be. Any questions, Ray?
I have no questions.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion on it?
I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve the transfer.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good job. I didn't mean to hold you up on that, I just wondered why it was done that way. Thank you.
Wasn't that the guy from last week that?
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open a hearing on an application for a transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license from Fury's Cafe Incorporated, Kathy E. Leary, Administrator of the Estate of Alan C. Dodge, to a corporation known as FC Restaurant, Inc., Robert A. Fairbairn, the fourth treasurer, for premises at 51 Fletcher Street and 510, 515 Worthing Street. First floor, 2 rooms for lounge, 2 rooms for storage. It is requested that Robert Fairbairn be approved as manager of record for FC Restaurant, Inc., and that FC Restaurant, Inc. has applied for a common vitler license, entertainment for live music, disc jockey and jukebox, and automatic amusement device.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Robert Allen Fairbairn IV, Treasurer of FC Restaurant, Inc.
Okay. Let's go ahead, I'm sorry, yes. Thank you.
Kathy Leary, Fury's Cafe.
Okay,
Attorney Greg Curtis here representing Fury's Cafe.
okay. And you are buying this Fury's Cafe and settling an estate?
Right, the estate was settled back in 2003, 2004, when Alan Dodge had passed away.
Okay,
And now we're transferring, have sold the business to FC Restaurant, Inc. Kathy Leary is the manager of record and the owner of the corporation, Fury's Cafe, Inc., and she's transferring the license at this point to the new owners.
okay. It being a public hearing, does anybody have opposition to this, opposition to this transfer? That portion of the hearing is closed. Anyone speak in favor, in favor, in favor? That portion of the, I've always been surprised. If I was going to transfer a liquor license or something, and I had it appear before, I'd call all my friends up and say, show up and tell them what a great guy I am. You know, I don't know. That's what I do. But anyways, you haven't got anybody in opposition, so you're okay. That portion of the public portion of the hearing is closed. Tell me a little bit about your background.
I'm an attorney.
Excuse me, before I do that, have we done a background check?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Sorry.
there's no record.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm a member of the Massachusetts Bar and have been for the last 5 years.
Have we double-checked it? He's an attorney.
I wasn't aware of that latest issue, Mr. Chairman.
Could you run that
Maybe
again?
We'll have to do it again.
Did you give him your social security number?
I tried to.
Okay. Go ahead.
Morning, Mr. Good
You
morning.
got the wrong kind of bar, you know. This isn't the same type of bar.
Oh, I know. Actually, it's not that unsimilar. Actually, what we intend to do is we're not making any changes in the facility right now, either in the physical plant or the staff. For the we have, although my background is in law, I've spent the last month with Ms. Leary every day, 7 days a week, learning the facility. I have been in the building before. My partner has prior experience, Attorney Brian Correa. He has prior experience managing Ramos Package Store. We do have access. We know many members of the local liquor dispensing industry that we can call upon for support. Mr. Leary's agreed to stay on and help us in the transition period. All our partner are both tip certified.
Have you taken a tips course?
I have. Both of us
You
are tip
have?
certified. Yes, we are.
Okay.
And basically, we intend to run the facility as is, and then as the neighborhood changes, to upgrade the facility, renovate the building and the bar, and hopefully adjust and meet community needs. You're
You're not going to let any attorneys in there, are you?
I don't think I can keep them out.
Okay. And your experiences with the package store? Now, have you actually worked in the package store?
Yes, my name is Attorney Brian Correa. While I was studying for the bar exam and prior to finishing law school, I did spend several years running, operating, managing the
Okay.
package
Do you have
store.
a machine in the store, a reader, an ID reader?
At the liquor store, we
Yeah?
did.
You gonna put one in the bar?
We will look into it. I am not sure. One of the things that we were informed of during the TIPS training is that the current fake IDs that are in circulation, they can actually fool the reader. So we'll investigate them, and it's a good idea.
Oh, it's possible. And anything's possible. I mean, people come in every day and they come in and they're buying a package store, they're buying a bar room, okay? And we try our best to make them understand that these kids are smarter than you ever thought of. Okay, I have a 5-year-old that can play with the computer. I don't even know how to turn the thing on. And shame on me, I don't want to know, okay? But I mean, the things they can do today are unbelievable. And believe me, whether you want to believe this or not, okay, the first youngster, the first underage, person that walks in your bar and is able to get served is going to know exactly who was there, what time of day it was, who was behind the bar, right down to the play, to know exactly how to tell their friends how to go in there. And once that happens, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. It passes like wildfire, I don't know if you've read any of the, recent stories and everything now. We got some brain trusts that are running the colleges around this country that have all of a sudden had a premonition that the drinking age should be reduced to 18. Well, that shows where they're coming from. They have no idea of what society's like. They have no idea of what it is to be out there, because they're the first ones that are going to point the finger at you and say, it was your fault. You never should have served him. He was a minor.
Now, I want to remind you that Chairman Bayless is the product of growing up with an 18 drinking age. So
That's
that's
right.
probably why we raised it.
And the 16-year-olds will be tagging on, and that's what folks don't understand. That's the problem with it, is once you drop it down, then it goes to the next youngest age. So I warn you, I don't, and I don't do it to be cruel or anything. I just don't want somebody coming back in and saying, you never said. Running a bar room or a package store today is a combat sport. It truly is. It's you against them. This lady's done a wonderful job. I don't think you have ever been in here, have you? Once? Okay, once. Once isn't bad for how many years?
35.
Okay. Once isn't bad. I'll give you one freebie for 35 years. But I don't want to give you a freebie where somebody comes in and says, my son wrapped his car around a tree because they sold him booze. So and they say, and that's what happens. They're never going to say, my son did this. He did this to himself. Because I don't remember you putting a gun to his head to buy it, but he did. So I'm going to blame you, because that makes me feel better. Okay?
Absolutely.
So please, I beg of you, the TIPS course is good. I've taken it myself, and I've never worked in a bar room. But I wanted to know what it was like to be able to, understand that mentality. Okay? And it's a great course. It really is. It teaches you an awful lot of things. And hopefully you can put them to work. Okay? That's pretty much all. Now you've got 2 lawyers to deal with. I'm going to step back, see? You're right here. They both crossed the bar. And I know one in particular has stopped at a couple, but anyways.
Just for clarification, on your application here, you have that you do own the premises, but then you have that PFC Realty Holdings LLC is the actual owner. So the corporation that is purchasing, or that is attempting to get this liquor license, is not the LLC that owns the property.
Correct.
I just want to clarify the application because it's filled out incorrectly. But other than that, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll say the same thing, good luck, and you're right about those ID card readers. 5 cents at a photocopier beats one of them any day. So they're kind of nice, but nothing is a substitute for a human being. So, all right, with that, I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve the transfer.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you very much.
I hope we never see you.
Thank you. We hope never to be.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank
Unless
you.
we're representing clients. And
That's all right.
Thank you.
It's all right, you can change that, can't you?
No, you can't.
Chairman, we have a number of communications as far as to conclude with the agenda. The Superintendent of Police, Kenneth LaValle, has filed a complaint against the corporation known as Tyler Perry Corp., DBA The Dubliner. Lorene Lucier is the manager of record, 197 Market Street, of an incident regarding alleged serving of an intoxicated patron.
Okay, I've got to recuse myself from both of these. I have a personal, I've done business with the Economo family that's involved in this, in the Dubliner, so I'm going to just step out of the room, you guys, because you've got to take up the next two items, if you would, and you know, decide you want to, okay?
All right, we have this,
I think it would be wise to go to the next item before we,
I would say, why don't we just, I
or
think.
do them together.
Yeah, why don't you just read the next item in, and then we
Okay,
can
sure.
treat them together.
Okay, and also a communication from an attorney, Michael Talty of the Talty and Talty LLC at 54 Church Street, Lowell. Communication is dated August 12, 2008, regarding Thomas Economo and Tyler Perry Corp., DBA The Dubliner. There being a request for a continuance of a hearing that has been scheduled for September 4, 2008. This relates to a matter of the Dubliner and allegations of misconduct previous to August 13th and on or about the weekend of July, or the day of July 24th, 2008.
I did have a chance to look at that, and I saw the request was because they're waiting on evidence back from the Middlesex DA's office. Now, I know what a lengthy process that can be from personal experience. It can, and if it's some of the evidence that I think, if you're talking about any lab results, they generally run 4 to 6 months, if you're lucky, and if they actually ever get done. A lot of times you're showing up on the day of trial and they're still not done. So, I don't think the request, you requested what, 2 extra weeks, put it on to the end of September, as opposed to September 4th?
Apparently, Attorney Talty has anticipation that there could be, could have more information. Our next meeting, though the matter is scheduled for September 4th hearing, our next meeting in September is the 18th as scheduled. Whether it's based on what you've just mentioned, Commissioner Weicker, as far as the District Attorney's Office and the criminal aspect of the allegations that have no bearing on the License Commission, I would assume, at least not initially, until there's some finding after the fact, but
Oh, no, I'm not making comment on the DA's office. I just, when, they'll get it to him as soon as they get it. But a lot of times, getting stuff back from the state lab is just very painful process.
But I do think the allegations in this complaint are very serious. And to wait 6 months for a downtown business
No,
to...
I don't think
So,
6 months is
I mean,
reasonable.
I'd be willing to give Attorney Talty and the Dublin a 2-week continuance.
Right.
But I don't think any longer than that. We need to get this adjudicated in some aspect, so.
Well, I agree. I think his request was just that it be put on until the next meeting in September as opposed to the 1st. So with that, I'll make the motion to go ahead and grant the extension.
I'll second that.
so in regards to the second of the 2 communications relating to the Dubliner, Attorney Talty's request for continuance to the 18th of September is approved.
And
Now the
with-
question
for the
before you
first
is,
one, I would ask-
what do you wish to do with the original complaint we have now against the Dubliner?
The first communication, why don't we just, since we've got to put 14 days notice out, if there's any action that could be pending against a person's license, that would require notice basically today, publication. So why don't we put that one on for the 18th as well, which will give us sufficient time.
Okay, sure.
I think that's fair and reasonable to give him over 3 weeks to get his ducks in a row.
Okay. So both matters will be, well, at least the first complaint, which is to be continued to the 18th of September, and then there is the original complaint, alleged intoxicated patron being served. That will also be heard on September the 18th. Okay.
As otherwise, I don't think we'd have enough time to put notice out if we wanted to bring it on for September 4th. Would
Well,
be
the notice will be on the, certainly I can contact the attorney's office on the,
Okay.
I don't know whether to make, is it fair to presume that Attorney Talty would be representing the Dubliner in this latest matter is whether then the question is, procedurally speaking, on the 18th, you have 2 separate complaints, 2 separate hearings.
I mean, I think if Attorney Talty is looking for a continuance of the September 4th date, that would lead me to believe that, one, he may have some order conflict, and also a stated reason of wanting to obtain more information. So I think procedurally we can handle it on the 18th.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lengthy day, but, you know, we get paychecks. Not much, but something. So we can handle it.
Okay, all right, so then it'll be hearings on both for both dates. Hearings on each, 2 hearings on that date of September 18th.
The law department doesn't have any issue with that, do you? With having 2 hearings for the same?
No, as long as, and I'm assuming that Commissioner Bayless is going to have to recuse himself from both. As long as the commissioners present appreciate that they have to be 2 separate hearings, it's not something that we can kind of glom together into one.
And you get paid overtime if we run late, right?
I haven't seen the funding for that, so.
Okay.
But luckily, I think Brian will be here for that day.
Okay, if Commissioner Bayless is able and willing. Further matters to do with communications, we have a communication, a copy of a communication from Dennis Parent, who is a building inspector of Inspectional Services, notifying the property owner, Barra Rio Realty Trust, Kayla Silva, trustee at 26 Andover Street. The communication being dated August the 15th, 2008, citing violation of major interior renovations, including plumbing and electrical work, exterior renovations, roof, all without required permits. At that location at 26 Andover Street is the licensee known as Brazilian Tropic Inc., DBA Rios, Kayla Falcone, manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 26 Andover Street. It's just a matter of, the board is on notice. If the Commissioner of Inspectional Services, I assume at some point,
As long as our issue with the license, they haven't expanded their area. What it sounds to me like is they put up a couple of petitions and stuff that they haven't.
Reading the notice, it basically says that they've done work on their roof, made some interior renovations, including plumbing and electrical. You
So
know,
that fall
if and
under
when,
our-
if there's a need for the licensing board at some point after the fact of this issue, you could be
Right.
looking at maybe disciplining the licensee.
They're closed right now.
I don't know that.
I mean, if there was
Go by
if
it.
there was a public danger or
Right.
any kind of a safety or health issue,
They can
inspectional
close it.
services could have closed them on the
Close it
spot.
right away.
Right, sure.
Okay, so
if
that
this
didn't
is-
affect us.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just a matter of putting it on the
Right.
record.
And, okay, so if it's on record, the only thing I can see is that they would need to, well, you know, now you've got a problem, because they obviously got signed off by inspectional services, fire, and electrical to get their license originally, before they did these renovations. Now, they wouldn't be signed off if they're in violation. So, do we go?
State that the issue that may come up is their occupancy permits may be revoked by building inspections, which then would invalidate their licenses. You may
Right.
need to actually take some sort
Okay,
of
so-
procedural action
so-
if the building
Yeah, I was going to say,
department takes that
so
step.
if the building is shut down, obviously, there's not really much that we need to do in the way of licensing because they're effectively out of business. If they deem it to be
No.
an unsafe building and they chain the doors, there's not going to be anybody going in there buying alcohol.
Right, the issue,
Yeah,
the issue is if they continue to violate the building department, there
Right.
may very well be some time where they are open, but they're in violation of all the building codes, and thus there may need to be some procedural step.
Right.
The license commission may want to take to stymie them from
Okay,
using
but
the
how do we,
license without.
what Commissioner White is saying, and what I'm concerned about is, okay, they had to sign off to get their license. Everybody signed off. Now they've obviously done all this renovation or whatever they've done that has violated the code. Okay. The building inspector's gonna go in and look at it, or whoever will handle that. How are they gonna notify us if they don't have an occupancy? Right now, they can move back in there unless the building code, you know, gives them a cease and desist or pulls the occupancy permit. We
Correct.
need to know that.
I believe that the building inspector has actually issued a cease and desist on the work that they've ignored.
Okay.
The question is whether the building department's going to take, I mean, either the building department will say, you correct this and have us come in and inspect it, in which case there
Right.
will be
Well,
inspections.
what I don't want to do is I don't want to get too mired
Exactly.
in doing the building department's job because,
It's not our
I
job.
mean, from my own practice, I've had plenty of clients who hire a contractor to get work done, and the assumption is that they pulled the right permits, and the work gets done, and then next thing you know, you're trying to get a permit after the fact.
Right.
And if that's the case here, they need to straighten themselves out.
Right.
But if there's anything unsafe, or they pull their occupancy permit, or they want to lock them down and shut them down, then we'll be prepared to
Right.
address it, I think, at that point.
Right. My suggestion would be if the licensing commission wants to be further informed on this, perhaps a short memo be sent to the building department saying.
Make a
if any
motion,
further-
that's all I care about.
Yeah, just keep us informed.
That's right, make a motion, Ryan, you know, you have nothing to do. Write them a letter. Just tell them to notify us if they pull the occupancy pit, I want to know, because, you know, unless they tell us, they still got their license, there's nothing we can do. It's only the, you know, so that's what we need to do. So we need to know that they're going to notify us of that we can take steps. I agree with Ray, we don't want to do their job, that's their job. Okay. Is that all right with everyone? Okay,
Perfect.
Brian?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't want to interfere in their lane, so.
Right,
yeah, all
I
right.
concur. Next on the agenda.
Communication from the Registry of Motor Vehicles dated August the 8th, 2008, regarding Paul Galakis doing business as Scenic Motors, used car dealer, Class 2, 580-B is the license number for premises at 220 Tanner Street rear. Apparently, the Registry of Motor Vehicles has issue with the licensee and received no satisfaction in any communication from that office regarding a certain record keeping of,
Okay, there again, we respond, the registry they have control of his dealer plates. I mean, we issue the license, but the registry issues the dealer plates, which allows us, you know, have they pulled his dealer plates?
all the official from the registry is informing the local board of the statutory requirement of licensees to maintain bookkeeping, satisfactory book, and that the local board, serving as the local licensing authority, each city and town has such a local board, to put the licensee on notice by way of what's stated in the state law.
Okay. And there again, you know, we don't audit the books, they do. They go in and check the books and make sure that they have the proper titles and the proper, so therefore,
Well, license commission members, agents of the license commission also have the wherewithal to examine the record keeping of each and every licensee by state law.
okay.
Well, why don't we have him come in with his
Yeah.
record keeping?
I'm gonna,
Next meeting.
I'm gonna agree. Why don't, I'm gonna make
Okay,
a
but
motion,
Before we
have him
do
in
this,
for the
before
next
we do
meeting.
this, guys, are you familiar with what he's supposed to be doing? I mean, I understand this, and we can read this
And
and
we can
study.
read Section 2 of Mass General Laws 140, which requires them to maintain accurate transaction records.
And
I mean, do you know-
we can make our requirement that he produce all of his records, and we'll forward a copy of those records to the RMV. I mean, the bottom line is, he was given 2 notices by the Registry of Motor Vehicles that he had to produce these records,
And he didn't.
and we're still letting him open. I mean, if, you
Okay.
know, if that last building had refused to allow the building inspector in, you know,
Yeah,
I'd have a
okay,
very
all
different
right, yeah,
perspective
I
on it, you
understand.
know.
Okay, I go along with that. That's a good idea. Make the motion.
All
That's a
right.
great idea. Somebody make that motion.
I'll make a motion to have the licensee produce all his records at the meeting that's September 4th.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
second? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't want people, you know, you can't tell
Oh, no,
the
I agree with you, but I mean,
You can't tell the
you know, I
inspector
mean,
you can't inspect.
No, no,
you know.
exactly. I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly, but, you know, you just look at it and say, why?
The
Would I
office,
know what I'm looking at? I don't know.
also another communication, the office received an email from Gretchen Hankins, who resides
Yeah, to the stadium.
in
Okay.
regards to the,
Is the stadium, we've had problems with that before. People come saying that the noise is too loud. And she says that there's nobody there on Sunday morning to call and ask them to turn it down.
Well, there's gotta be somebody
Are
there,
they
'cause
on
they've
a
got it turned
timer
on.
where the music just goes on automatically? No, there is somebody there.
I want to assume that maybe there might be some practice sessions taking place Sunday morning for some members of the Spinners, or it could be the,
What do they need music for? They haven't got a crowd in the bleachers. I mean, it's Sunday morning. You know, I don't think that we're being unreasonable, and I don't think she's being unreasonable. Sometimes, I mean, in today's economy, there's an awful lot of people that are working 6 days a week and 2 jobs, and Sunday is their good Lord's day of rest. They should be in church, unfortunately, but they roll over sometimes and stay in bed. Well, you know, we leave that up to the guy that's going to be making that decision, but I think on a Sunday morning...
How's the law
They
department doing on this? How's the law department doing on all this?
I think on Sunday morning that people should have the right to take advantage of, you know, you don't have to listen. I know, you know, Father Sinella will be looking for you, but, you know, to take advantage and be able to stay in bed on a few things. So, you know, maybe a letter to them asking them, is it necessary? And if so, invite them to the next hearing. If they don't come to the next hearing, maybe we'll just realize that they realize that Sunday morning, you know, probably prior to noon. I don't think that's an unreasonable request, 1 day a week.
Well, I mean, my whole thing is that you buy this condominium, or I don't know where Miss Haskins lives, but you buy it in an urban setting next to a ballpark where you know there's going to be events, and that is a fully operational facility, and there's a minor league baseball team that's in there. They have marathons that are in there. They have charitable events. And some of them, I've been there at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning where they have music, and it's a atmosphere where they're trying to encourage the community to get together. So I think to put a stringent no music before noon could be a detriment to the city. And I think that's, a lot of people buy property in the downtown area to be a part of events like that. And I understand what you're saying about not being able to, to be able to sleep in on a Sunday morning, but also I know they have the Bay State Marathon that's there early on a morning. They have other events that are part of living in a city, and I know to some people it's inconvenient, but again, this is that whole where Commissioner Weicker has been championing this decibel level.
No, I agree with you. I would love to see the Board of Health set some limits on decibels, and, that's just overall concern for hearing and loud noises. But I agree with you that, look, the draw to, you don't live in a city because you get a big backyard. You don't live in a city because you like wide open spaces. You don't live in a city because it's easy to find parking. You live in a city because you have ball fields, because you have restaurants, because you have bars, because you have places to go out at night, because you can walk to the Barnes and Noble. Those are the reasons that you live there. If I moved out to the country and moved in next to a farm and complained about the smell of the cows, well, would it be right to say get rid of all the cows? Just because I moved there doesn't give me the right to say get rid of everything that annoys me.
Well, just for the record, as far as what Gretchen Hankins is aware of, is that the city ordinance would allow for amplification subject to local board granting of an amplification permit, but not before 10 in the morning.
Well, then let's compromise on it. You think 10 is unreasonable?
The ordinance says they can't use it before 10?
Yeah, what it is that it's, the way the city council amended the noise ordinance is that 10 a.m. on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, it's like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. were subject to an amplification permit. In the case of the venue, such as La Lasher, they would be restricted within those hours, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on those days. Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it would be 10 a.m. to 12 midnight. So all I think is, my understanding of the email is that she's just, where she had brought this matter to the board's attention several months ago, I think she's just bringing it back up because of what was apparently recently.
Yeah, she got right in here. She says it's 8:30 in the morning and I'm sitting here.
All right.
Okay, so then let's compromise on the issue and say that, and I agree with you. I've been the first, I think that anybody that knows me and have been on this board long enough knows that I'm pro-business and that you do have to, but you also have to understand that the people that move into a downtown area hopefully support the downtown area and spend money and go to the restaurants in the downtown area. What she's saying here, it's 8:30, Mr. Wynn, and the music's playing. And, okay, so maybe a letter to them saying that there is an ordinance in place, and that if they had an event that wanted to open prior to that, maybe they should ask for a special license, like a special one-day license. Maybe they should, so that we could put it on television, and announce to the public, tomorrow morning, the Spinners are going to have, the food fest, whatever it is. But, if they're out practicing, and I think it's important, I imagine that if you just turned it down a notch, but let's put that on the side. I definitely agree with what Brian's saying, and I think that we can compromise, and it's 10 o'clock is, maybe a reminder. How's that sound?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So maybe a reminder from the License Commission. There's an ordinance that says there's no music prior to 10 o'clock. Could you send,
also
you got nothing better to write them a letter.
Well, it's just a matter of, in issuing annual licenses to the Diamond Action Inc., which is the company that runs the Lowell Spinners and maintains the facility, the Lasher. They were granted the alcohol license, beer and wine, I should say, but also the amplification permit as well as a public amusement license. So the amplification permit is pretty much as the ordinance states it, as I just mentioned. I think it's just a question of the front office may not be fully aware that sometimes in the morning when maybe some of the players are ready to take some swings and field some balls,
they want to crank the tunes.
They want to hear something.
Yeah, that's right, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I agree with that, but I think it's that one day a week to expect a little, just till 10 o'clock even. I don't think that's unreasonable. So if we maybe, in the, your downtime, when you got time, write them a letter reminding them of the ordinance, and tell them that if there is an event that they feel, I mean, we have Holy Ghost Park come in on every event for the sound. People know exactly when they're gonna be here to here, and that's it, okay? And I'm not saying that everything Holy Ghost Park does is right, but they're in here every time for their license, and their license for amplification. There's no reason to Lasher Park, and there's no reason that people living in the area, I agree with Ray on it, that you know, if they want to run something that is going to, you know, a road race or something, people are going to get there 8 o'clock in the morning, that's a special event. They don't do it every Sunday morning. They can come in here and ask for a license for that, you know, an exemption or whatever you want to call it for that one day. But outside of that, they should adhere to the, do you agree?
I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that all right?
That's right.
The one other thing, though, that I'd just like to point out is, in Miss Hankins' email,
Yep.
she states that several residents have complained about being woken up the past few Sundays before 9 a.m. And if you are being woken up, please let us know and make some, because the only complaints that
Yeah.
we received are 2 from
Her.
Miss Hankins. No one else has made any complaints. So if there are complaints, please let us know.
What is the police department getting phone calls about noise violations on Sunday mornings?
I checked on, for August 3rd and August 10th so far this year, and there were no complaints of loud music anywhere in the downtown area at that time, and we've got no complaints to the ballpark address since January 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, what Brian is saying is absolutely true. We have one lady that has, you know, taken this up and says there are other people. You know, if you're out there, a lot of times people think the License Commission sits back. We can't do anything unless we hear from you. So it's up to you as to phone Ryan, send him an email. You know, then that way there we have something that we can, you know, kind of hang our hats on. Okay? You're gonna send him a letter? Good, give you something to do. Okay.
In all your spare time.
And just on the end of the list of communications, there is notification from the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission on a matter to do with a change of ownership of an existing licensed, Shabana Inc. is a corporation holding a beer and wine restaurant license at 4345 Middle Street. It's known as the Bombay Mahal Restaurant. Corporation has had some issues with regard to its manner of structure, offices, and the initial ownership transaction. So the local board license commission last December approved the request to approve new officer director to transfer of stock. Finally, the state came around to notifying the office that due to the failure to comply with tax laws in Massachusetts, the ABC has disapproved the change of officers director and transfer of stock. So that just came through the beginning of August. So it's about 7 months, 8 months almost, when it was sent in Boston. And so it's just a...
Make a motion, get him in.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
That's all I have.
Anything else? Anything else? Anything the city, anything, police department? Okay. Anything anybody else wants to bring up? Hey, Mark, how are you out there? What'd you do, oversleep? I saw you weren't here at the beginning. Hey, get up.
Now, he's probably the best man for the pulse of what's going on in downtown Lowell.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. We're coming home, Benjamin.